Hello YouTubers! So, thought I'd come in front of the camera so you can go, ah. Anyway, and basically today we're talking about things that people don't necessarily talk about in homebrew. Just like last time, except this time there's more alcohol. So, let's talk about blending. Blending, yeah. Not blending, with the bzzz. Blending as in blending of alcohol. So in here I've got some freeze distilled cider. There is the bottle of spice cider I made in the previous video. I've drank most of it by now, so I've kind of given up on that point because I've forgotten it, so we're doing this one. I made two. I showed you the bottle of the still, and then I made a 2-litre bottle, which was going to be fizzy. I did it for the video. I had no intentions of doing that. What I did is I froze distilled it just by doubling the, funny enough, concentrating the flavour. I wasn't so worried about the cider, So it's exactly the same as the previous video. Put it in a 2-litre bottle, chucked it in the freezer. This is what's left of tape number 50,000,004 in the glass. It's good, don't get me wrong. The cider that we made is very nice, it's refreshing, it's still. It's been aged for about a month, so it's a little rough around the edges, but still it's better than most of the commercial ciders that you can buy in the supermarket. This is unique. You're not going to find an apple cider that tastes, an apple wine that tastes like this. Just by chucking it in the freezer and then taking the alcohol, it's very appley, it's got a bit of spice. It's nice. So, I'll finish drinking that. So, that's taking one thing that, it was good, don't get me wrong. The cider's good. I like cider. I have lots of it. You want to make a wine, you can take the cider, freeze it, double the strength, and turn it into a wine. 17% is pretty high for a commercial bought wine, but for me that's relatively low, considering that I make Applejack, and this is 35%, so, it's all proportional to what you're used to. So this is a very tasty one. It's nice, but we're talking about blending, so let's get back to blending. So, this is a bottle of elderflower, which I didn't make a video for because this was a while back. It's not bad. I mean, other people say they like it, and it's okay, but I prefer it to have more citrus. But let's just say you've made a wine, it's not particularly good. It happens, it's homebrew. Not everything's going to be perfect. How to make this into something else that tastes good. So we like elderflower. So apple and elderflower, it's quite nice. Let's give it a go. So this is 11% by the way, just so we know. Unopened since July 2014? Yeah. It's the same time as I made some other stuff. So it's been aged, so it's very nice. Let's take the cider. So this is the spice cider that we made. Put it into the glass, like so. So at the minute we got the spices and we got the apple, and then we've got the elderflower. Let's open it up. Let's give it a smell. Very elderflowery. It has a very strong elderflower taste with not very much citrus. So let's double that. Obviously you're going to do it with a bottle, but this is just a guess. And obviously the alcohol is going to even itself out. So one was 8, one's 11. So about 9.5%. Anyway, so this is just a thing to show that blending isn't necessarily a bad thing, because lots of people don't blend. And you can blend all sorts together. Just if you're blending two alcohols together and then rebottling them, make sure that you stabilize it, because I had a few accidents with one sweet wine and one dry cider, and the ciders I never add any yeast killer to, so it fermented. Tried to open the bottle, it exploded, there was red everywhere. Anyway, so this is now apple and elderflower. Sounds quite nice. Give it a smell. Smells nice. Pretty nice, actually. So we've got the apple cider and elderflower wine, but when you mix them both together, it is cider with elderflower. Who knew? So I've taken something that was the elderflower, which I think was rather awful, mixed it with the cider, and you've got yourself something new. You've got elderflower cider. And it's quite nice. It's quite nice, really. It's got the apples, it's got the elderflower. Now, you may have mixed two together and you know, well, that's okay, but let's add something else to it. So I've got myself a stronger flavour, which is the cider jack, which you saw me before, so I'm going to add in just a little bit of that. See if we can't bump it up slightly. Just a little bit. Ooh, that's a completely different thing. So, this is just the concentrated cider that we put in originally, but it's double the strength. Extra the flavour. And now we've got this. It's darker again. Oh, those ones had lumps in. It's making me salivate. It smells really good. So, ooh, that's the money. That's the money, that one. It's a good balance between apple, elderflower, and spices, which is all around there. Oh. So, blending can work out rather nicely. Anyway, so, as I'm drinking more and more and more, it's getting more fun. Now, so we've just blended different things together to make one thing that's, I think, is quite nice. I may actually have to mix some of this stuff in a bottle, not just in a glass. So it's kind of like an alcohol cocktail, I suppose. Pretty strong as well, to be fair. 11%, 17%, and 8%. So average it all out, somewhere around the 12, 13%. Why not? It's nice, and we've just made a blend. Now, maybe you've, like with this elderflower, you think it's a bit rubbish, and you don't want to mix it with other stuff, and then you've got more elderflowers, and you make another batch. You can make another batch that's got more citrus in it, like I like my elderflower quite citrusy. So maybe the next one I'm going to make, you make it doubly as citrusy, and you take the stuff you've already made, and then mix those two together. And you end up with, in between, what you've newly made and what you've old made, and standardize it, rebottle it, and it will sort out your blends. So you've really not got to be afraid of making mistakes. As long as it doesn't go off, you've pretty much got an opportunity to mix it with something else, add it for cocktails, or give it to someone that you don't really like. Just saying. They'll love you for it, and you don't really care. Another thing, aging. I broached it the last time, but didn't really go too much into it. I've got this. This is the only 1.5 litre bottle in the world that is ever going to exist of this recipe. Mainly because it's, I call it Delabole wild wine, because I live in Delabole, and everything in it is, the sugars and everything, no added sugar, it's all made from things around Delabole. The only thing that technically didn't come from here is the yeast and the water, because that's piped in through that, pardon me, somewhere else in Cornwall. When I first made it, because it was using crab apples, it was so tanniny. Like, I would say it was like sucking on a lemon, but it was like sucking on 1,000 lemons and then being beaten with a shoe. So it was pretty hardcore. And it's been chapped in here. I made this the same time as the elderflower, so 2014. It's now 2016, and this stuff's pretty hardcore. As you can tell, I made it in a bottle because it was fizzy. It had a bit of fizz to it, and I wasn't sure, so I already let some of it off. It's a mild sparkling wine, so we're going to give this a go. So I'm going to drink this. Oh, that's quite nice. Apple, elderflower, can't go wrong. Good blend. So this is the wild wine. That smells shit. Let's try again. This one actually really smells of apples. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of this because it's pink. It's pink and got bubbles in it. So let's see what over a year of aging has done to this beast. Really swirl. They do this in the, the wine tasting communities. As before. It's like you're not supposed to oxidize your wine, but then you swell it and add oxygen to it. Weirdos. So. Well, my face doesn't look like a slapped ass, so it's doing a lot better. Let's give this more. Quite nice. I mean, considering that it's all bits in it. Oh, there you go. What's that? Something green. Okay. Anyway, so aging has changed this from something that wouldn't be good enough to clean the toilet to something that's quite nice, actually. It's like a Perrier wine. It's not fizzy, but it's not still. Wine for posh people. Anyway. That's quite nice. Because it had the blackberries, which I got locally, and the apples I got locally, and the water, which came from the tap, but, soft water area. That's quite nice. All it needed was a year to mellow, and it's come out quite nice. I actually quite like that. Just a shame I didn't make more. Oh well, there's always this year. So, yeah, bit of a pointless video. Just me drinking. Cider Jack. I like the Cider Jack. It's wine, but much better. So, anyway, I have a cleanse the palate with some alcohol. And the glass. Gotta forget, gotta cleanse the glass too. That's really nice. And yeah. So, I'd say that's about a bottle gone. That's the wrong hand. There you go, see, look, yeah, it must be working. A little bit left in the bottom. Yeah, that's nowhere near. So I've had over a bottle so far. And I'm still talking coherently, I think. Pretty good. Have a bit of weight. And because we don't have any additives added in, sodium bisulfate, or any other crap, you're not going to suffer a bad hangover as you would normally. I don't get hangovers, so I'm sorted. That's the point. Yeah, I'm just sitting. You can't see. You can see this bit here. You can't see all of the little things I had tested in previous videos, which were, this is crystal clear. Look at it, it's lovely and shiny. But this is the jam wine that I made in July 2015. It's even labelled, which you can't see, but I can. Now, I made this as a kit wine, because you just buy 4 jars of jam and do your thing. Oh, carbon dioxide. I finished this with just a standard Camden tablet instead of using a stabilizer. So it's been slowly fermenting and getting stronger and stronger. But it's basically been here, just over here, just hug the bottle. And once it was bottled, all you basically got to do is leave it for a few hours, 24, 74, whatever, a couple of days, just to let the sulfates burn off, so they don't burn you. That's very simple. And you end up with this wine here. It's pinky and it's rosé. Now, with the jam wine, because I made it as a Paris, it's got quite a lot of alcohol swirling around inside there. Now, because I made it as a sweet wine, it was meant to be drank, pretty quick. If you left it to ferment out to zero, till it was dry as a bone, and then you left it for this amount of time, it would be a very nice wine as well. So let's see what happens after a year of this sweetie wine, which, to be fair, has been slowly fermenting because this yeast hasn't really stopped. It got butchered, but it's still very slightly fermenting. Give it a smell. Smells quite nice. Let's give it a taste. Yeah, look at the pinky. Anyway, it's not, it's just there. And because the hand naturally is like that. No, it's just smash my hand. So it naturally looks like porridge. Anyway, so let's give this another try. To be fair, it's lost a bit of its body because it's not quite as sweet, and it's not meant to be kept for this long, but taste of strawberries. A little hint of cherry. A bit of blackberry. A bit of everything basically. And a little bit of plum. So it's still quite nice, to be fair. It's hasn't got the rosé kick that it had when it was first made, which is why I made it as a quick wine. But it's still quite nice. So yeah, that's what happened to the wine. It wasn't a full gallon container, and it's one of those things that you kind of, as you can see, there's 3/4 of the gallon left. And you have friends over, you give it a little bit of a try, and they're like, "Oh, that's novel. I may have to try and make some." So it's a talking point. So that's what happened to the jam wine, for those people that have seen the video and going, "Oh, what's happened to that?" Slowly being drunk. So yeah, blending, aging, stuff. So I'm pretty sure I've run out of things to say that is going to be of any use. So cheers, guys.